Alright, welcome to my Foundation gameplay and review video. So obviously in Chapter 3, Season 1, the Foundation, aka the Rock, is the secret skin, and we just unlocked him. If you need help with these quests, I did a full challenge guide on both page 1 and page 2. Some of them are easy, and some of them are time-consuming, but they're not bad at all. So what do you get exactly with this secret skin? Well, luckily, there's quite a bit. So you can change the color on the Foundation. So he starts with a sort of blue and gray image here. And then, of course, he's got the black and red helmet. So this is his default style, and there's his default back bling. Again, black and red. That's a little gray, too. So he looks pretty good, just like this, but you could turn him into the combat version, which I much prefer. He looks way more stealthy, way more crisp. I do enjoy that. Of course, it does take the color out of it, so it just depends on which color scheme you like better. But everything darkens up, as you can see, when I swap between them. So that's cool. It gives us options on the color scheme, which right away is great. Next, you can toggle the headwear, aka the helmet, and you can turn it off if you want. This is also a built-in emote, which we'll see shortly. So, I don't know. I love The Rock. I'm a huge WWF fan, or I guess WWE. And The Rock was one of my favorite wrestlers, but it just looks kind of out of place. He's got that robotic neck there, and then, boom, a human head. So I much prefer the helmet being on, but again, to each their own. Now, if you do prefer the helmet on like me, you can change the visor. So I'm not sure what the default is. It's definitely animated. Kind of creepy a little bit, almost like a spine going down there for a second. Then we've got Tactical, which basically has a crosshair there. I enjoy that. He's got little mandibles that pop out near his mouth. That's kind of weird as well. Then we got Combat Elite. This looks like an evil face. That's not too shabby. And then Ultimate. This one, I don't know what to make of that. They're all pretty cool, to be honest. It doesn't matter which one you really run because you can't see it regardless. But obviously if you have the headwear off, then these do nothing. Absolutely nothing. So you need it on in order to take advantage of that. So it's good that there's a little bit of customization with this skin. Let's take a look at the back bling here. So obviously we've got the default one, which is the Foundation's mantle, which again is red and black. And then you've got the combat one, which is gray and black. So nothing really drastic there. The pickaxe, however, has a little more functionality to it. So you can do the Foundation's plasma spike, and then you can change the color to the Foundation's flame. So we've seen multiple pickaxes like this before. It's got a nice splash effect, a nice contrail, a nice swing animation too. Or you could turn it into the Foundation's flame, which is a little more dark, a little more orangish. This obviously would go with the combat style, and it's got a different splash effect and a different contrail. Now in addition, you can also make it two-handed. Check that out. And the same thing applies. So this first one is more red, and then you can turn it into the darker version. So that's kind of cool. Regardless which one you want, they both swing extremely smooth and have nice contrails and splash effects. I like that. Next, we have the Rocket Wing Glider. So I have yet to see this in game. I'm not sure how he rides it. I don't know if he stands on it. I think it's just like the Green Goblin glider, if I remember correctly what the files said. But this is the default one. So it matches that blue and gray color scheme. And then we've got the stealth one, which is more gray and red. Not much of a change there. It's not as noticeable as the skin itself, but you can tell it does get a little darker. So interesting. I'm very curious to see what this looks like in game. And a lot of people have asked me to run the dual wielded ones, so these right here, on the glider. So I don't know if that does something different when you're rocking two of them. I don't know. Maybe he does something with his pickaxe. Like I said, I've never seen it in game as of yet. So we'll check that out. And then lastly, we do have the Foundational Wrap. And it's not, unfortunately, reactive, but it is nicely animated. You can see that the black and red kind of flicker in and out. And then that little rotational device in the center of the weapon. That's kind of cool. I'll show that on the wrap skins as well in just a few minutes. So there you go. That's all the accessories. Of course, you got little emoticons and sprays and things like that. But these are the bread and butter of the secret skin, if you will. So now we just have to see how they play out in game. All right, so here we go first with the Rocket Wing Glider. Let's take a peek. So It's not as clean as the Green Goblins, but that's not too bad. Kind of steadies himself on there. Let's go forward. So you get a little bit of wind contrail there. The flames kind of boost out. You can see 2 new flames come out in the middle there. So also you can notice those little turret objects, the flaps are up, but when you go forward, they close down. So that's kind of cool. Here's to the left. Only one opens then. To the right, again, only one opens. Backwards. Interesting. So not a bad glider. All right, so first, let's take a look at the pickaxe. So this is the single version. Oh, there's a gold bird right there. Nice. So you can see he just thrusts his arm out, and then the blade appears. And it's got a nice animation. Very sharp looking. So as you can see, it has a nice contrail. The red sparks kind of flicker off. That's neat. It makes a weird noise. I'll be quiet so you can hear it. It's kind of like it's cutting through a weird material, but that's the noise it makes when you pull it out. Just a weird noise. I don't even know how to describe that. So you can see when you get next to an object in the dark, it illuminates because it's so bright. And of course it has that nice red splash effect as well. So nice contrail, nice splash. Speaking of glowing though, you can see the illumination, let me put my pickaxe away, from the helmet, as well as the knee pads and the arm pads there. So let me do nailed it so you can see this a lot better. All of those things are just so brightly lit in the dark. So I like that, but a lot of people don't like being lit up like that, so to each their own. The back bling is actually pretty impressive. It's like half a shoulder cape. That looks really, really smooth. You just spin them around with old school, you can get a full glimpse. Obviously this is the default style. So here's the wrap. You can see the nice animation there with the red. How about on the Stinger? Not as noticeable. It's a nice blue though. And the Ranger. So it's much more prevalent on the heavy shotgun. So it says it's not reactive, but watch what happens when you shoot. So again, look at the red that trickles above my hand. Now watch when it's fully red and I shoot. Here we go, right there. You can see it illuminates. But it's not supposed to be reactive. Let's see if it does that on these too. Yeah, you can see it lights up if you get it fully red. This one's going to be hard to see because it's covered. If we hip fire this one, you can't see because obviously the MK. Interesting. So again, it's not supposed to be reactive, but it clearly is a little bit reactive. Interesting. Then of course we got the built-in tactical visor toggle, and this will remove the helmet. And he does do the people's eyebrow right there. It's kind of hard to see because you don't get a frontal shot of him. Now if we spin him around, he's basically the Rock. But like I said, that neck just doesn't really look right. It doesn't mesh well with the human face. There's nothing they could have done to fix it, but to me, I much prefer the visor on. So this is just a solid skin. Now when you aim down sights, he does have a big old shoulder pad right there. It doesn't really get in your way, but it is 100% noticeable. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Let's just do an aim down sights with the Rock face here. He's definitely bald as bald can be. So overall, very solid. Let's take a look at the other style plus the other pickaxes as well. All right, let's try the stealthy rocket wing. Let's see if we can notice the difference. Oh yeah, that's definitely a lot more gray. So in the locker, it was kind of hard to see the difference, but the blue is obviously gone. I don't see any real other difference. Same color contrail, same flame color. The flaps still go down and up, and one open, and one open, and a little whirly-dirly here. So it's a solid glider, for sure. I think I prefer this combat version, though. I just like the stealthy aspect. So again, I prefer this combat style. Everything is just so stealthy and dark. You still have little hints of blue, especially with the wrap. But as for everything else, you're just that stealth. Ooh, and I love the pull-out with the dual-wielded ones. Look at that. Shows his dominance there, just boom. Spreads his arms quickly. Same contrail. Ooh, I like that animation as well. So this is the combat version of the pickaxe. As you can see, they're a lot more darker. They look a little more fierce. Yeah, I definitely prefer this combat style. Now, of course, you still have the glow. Let's do a little pull. 36. 19. So let me go back to nailed it here. You can see we still illuminate nicely, but this time we're gray and black as opposed to gray and blue. I do like that illumination though. So everything to me looks a little more crisper and cleaner, including the pickaxes with the combat style. Now, of course, you may want to change out the wrap, but it does still have red, it does still have gray, but the blue is kind of now out of place. And I'm sure you probably have at least a few black or gray or light gray wraps in your inventory. Get a little people's eyebrow going. Not bad. This is actually one of my favorite secret skins we've ever had. And not just because I'm a huge rock fan. It's just overall very solid. No real complaints here. I like it. So there you go. That is the Foundation skin in all his secret glory. Now, is this the best secret skin we've ever had? I don't know if I would go that far. We've had some real winners in the past, and we've also had some big duds in the past. A lot of people hated the Cube Queen because she was so out there. She was so bright. She was so animated, so glowing. And a lot of people don't like that. So I do enjoy that this skin has so many customizable things to take away if you don't like a particular aspect about it. For example, if you don't like the helmet, take it off. Use the rock head. If you don't like the blue, then turn it to the stealth mode with the combat version. I really enjoy that. If you don't like the single pickaxe, do the double one. So they kind of gave something for everyone with this skin. They kind of thought it out really, really nicely. And yes, he does have a lot of animation and a lot of glow, but I think everything balances out, and this is one of the best, in my opinion, secret skins that we've had to date. There's nothing really too over the top, a lot of customizable features, and it's just an overall solid skin. So let me know in the comments, do you agree with this, or do you think this is not such a good skin? So there you go. That's all there is to it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. A like is always appreciated. And don't forget to use my Support-A-Creator code, which is tabortime.